Carson Beach, located in South Boston, just a short walk from the JFK Red Line station. The beach is 3 miles long and is connected to M Street and also another popular beach, Castle Island. In the 1990s, the beach was ruled unsafe due to sewage water, but as of 2019, the beach was ruled safe to swim in. As you can see now, just behind me, the tides are really high. But I'll leave it to Albert to talk more about the tides.
So when we're talking about the tides, we're really talking about the gravitational pull on the Earth from the moon. So as you can see here, it is currently low tide. So what this means is that the gravitational pull of the moon is at its weakest, so we aren't directly facing the moon. But if this were to be high tide, it would be the opposite. So this cycle happens 4 times in a day. It doesn't matter how it starts, it could either start high or low, and it goes in between high cycle and then low cycle and then high cycle to low cycle, and in between there's a rest period where the water is still. And as you can see, all this sand that's been left uncovered by the water is where a lot of organisms live, such as clams.
Clams are a well-known name for different kinds of bivalve mollusks. Bivalve mollusks are a type of organism that is enclosed by a shell that compresses their body. Clams have no backbone structure, but they do have a feature on their body which is referred to as the foot. The foot helps clams burrow through sand and mud. Clams live along the seashore, which is also known as the intertidal zone. The intertidal zone is basically where the ocean meets the land between different tides. The biggest clam grows up to 4.8 feet, and there are about 15,000 different types of clams in this all around the world. And many other organisms can be affected by climate change.
The transformation of Carson Beach would have been impossible if it were not for the citizens of Boston. Similar to the Boston Harbor, Carson Beach used to be an unsafe ground for beach lovers and swimmers. Cigarette butts, trash, broken glass, and runoff used to be a frequent sight for a visitor here at Carson Beach. Citizens' concerns and demands struck policymakers, and through the 90s, up until today, Carson Beach was transformed into one of the cleanest beaches in Boston. Massachusetts Department of Conservation and Recreation, along with the help of the citizens of Boston, make sure that Carson Beach can be as clean as it can possibly be for the public. Together, Bostonians attack Carson Beach's pollution, one aspect of climate resilience.
As our climate warms, more glacial ice melts into the ocean, the threat of sea level rise increases. The Boston area is particularly at risk for sea level rise because most of the city is built on fill.
Sea level rise of just 4 to 6 feet would be devastating for the area around Carson Beach. Not only would the beach be lost, but roadways such as Day Boulevard, buildings, and recreation areas like Moakley Park would be submerged in water. The Boston area as a whole is very vulnerable to the rising sea levels, and much of the infrastructure built there will be useless if efforts are not made to quell rising tides. Each year, areas on the waterfront become flooded, such as Aquarium Station, which is just a glimpse at the damage to come if nothing is done.
Climate resilience is how much an environment can withstand the climate stresses and still be able to function well in the face of those changes. Massachusetts' climate has risen over 2 degrees in the last century. This is causing spring to start much earlier, and the summers are getting drier and hotter. If the climate continues to change, it could affect plankton, and that is one of the bases of the food chain, so that could disturb the levels above it. This could cause many species to die off. With the climate changing, it could cause more powerful and dangerous storms to come, creating damage to the coastal communities. A few ways Carson Beach can prepare is planting more plants and trees because they soak up water and clean the air. Also, you can keep track of your greenhouse gases and make sure you do your part in keeping the earth a healthy place. You could also make sure boat users obey the no-wake areas. Those are meant for no waves because of the erosion of shorelines.